Okay, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Faith, and in the previous video, I showed you how to find out what fonts are used on a website. So the first step to choosing a font is to know where to get fonts from, and if perhaps you already maybe you saw some fonts on a website and you said you want to make use of them, so you need to know where to get these fonts from. So I'll be showing you sites you can get fonts from, as well as sites you can get font inspiration from in case you don't even have any fonts in mind and you want to see what fonts are really good. I'm going to give you some sites and some tips to getting font inspiration. So the first site on our list is Google Fonts, and Google Fonts features lots of free fonts that you can make use of on your for your website project. So you can see if you go to Google fonts.google.com, you'll be able to access it. I'm going to drop the links to all the sites I'm going to feature in the description of this video. So on Google Fonts now, you can see lots of font families there, fonts. So you can see they have 1424, and you can just search for the one that suits your needs. And they also have filter options. Yes, if you are looking for a particular typeface, maybe you are looking for a sans serif typeface, you can just mark only sans serif, and that will display only sans serif font families for you, so that it will be easy for you to narrow down your search. And you can also specify other properties like slants width and the rest of it. And you also have the option to type your own text. So if you want to preview how a particular font family looks like when being on a particular text, you can write yours there. And if you already know what the font you want to make use of and you want to know if it's available on Google Fonts, you can just search for the name of the font here. So like let's say Roboto, to just give you everything out from there. So that's it. And you also have the option to see it, to set it, the font size, to see how it looks like on a particular font size. So this will just give you will just help your search, help you narrow down things and find the right font easily. Okay, so the next website on our list is Adobe Fonts. And Adobe Fonts features free and premium fonts. So if you have a Adobe Creative Cloud subscription, you can have access to all their fonts. You can see here, if you access this page, the name of the site is fonts.adobe.com/fonts. So once you get to this page, to first of all mark this. So if you don't have a Creative Cloud subscription, I recommend that you turn it off so that you can only see the free fonts that they have on their website. But if you have a Creative Cloud subscription, just tick it so that you can see all the fonts available. So these now are the free fonts available on Adobe Fonts, and you can narrow down your search by these tags. So if you are looking for geometric fonts, you can tick it and just have them ticked to narrow down your search to find the particular one you need. And you also have the option to based on the typeface you're looking for. If it's sans serif, you can tick it, or if it's slab serif, let's say I'm looking for a slab serif typeface, I can just select slab serif from here and it's going to filter my search result based on my selection. So the same thing also applies to this. So this will just help you narrow down your search and help you find the right font you need. And you can also enter a sample text, and once you have seen it, you can view the fonts. You can view the fonts to see the font page. So this is one I opened here. It is called Kepler, and you can see how it looks like. You can see some images of how the font looks like on some texts, and you also have how you can see that it only has two fonts, which are the bold semi-condensed display and the bold semi-condensed italic display. So it only has two fonts, this particular font family, and you can see some font pairing suggestions they give you here, as you can see, and you can read the description of the font as well to have an idea of the history behind the font and what it was actually designed for. So on Google Fonts too, if you should open any of the fonts, be able to see the description. So like for example, let me open Roboto. You can see the description. So if you read the description and it matches what you need it for, then it may be a good choice. It may be a good, you can use it for your projects. Although in the next video I'm going to cover how to choose fonts, so I'm just trying to give you this in. So let's check the about page, so you can see the about here and the design as well, and you can see how it looks like on different glimpse, so that on different glimpse here. So this will just give you an hint, and you can see it as well. Can test it out here as well too, and you can see the different fonts it has. It has lots of fonts, as you can see. Okay, so let's move on to the next site you can find fonts from. And the next site you can find fonts from is called Squirrel. So fontsquirrel.com, and here as well you can find free fonts here. Although I don't know why it's not loading, but if you access it on your end, it should load for you so that you can see the preview. And if you want to see the full details, you can just click on it. And they also have options for you to like narrow down your search. So if you are looking for sans serif fonts families or typefaces, you can just click on it, and you have other tags and categories which you can select from. So that's it. So these are their hand-picked font families. Websites you can get fonts from is Envanto Elements. So if you should go to elements.envanto.com/fonts, you can see lots of fonts that you can make use of the element subscription. You can choose from any of the fonts here. No one that matches your need, you can search for them here. And you also have the option to narrow down your search. Maybe you're looking for a serif font or sans serif. You have the spacing option and other filters that you can use to narrow down your search. And if you already know the font family name, you can just search for it, and if it's available you will see it in the search results. Okay, so the next website now is actually a website for you to get peer, and their website address is fontspeer.co. So from this website you can get fonts inspiration as well as fonts pairing inspiration, because you would want to make use of like two fonts on your website and give them different rows, one for heading, the other one for body text. So this site gives you an idea of give inspirations of the kind of fonts you can make use of. So let's move down here. So if you should come to their home page and you scroll down, you will see different font pairings that they have done here, which actually works. So you just have to look for the one that is best suited for your needs and make use of them. So it just helps save the time of looking for what fonts to use. And you can see the fonts like this one over here, Nonito and Sans Serif Pro. You can see how it is being used in this live example to have an idea of how it's going to look like. And you also have one thing over here that you can use. You can decide to edit the text, maybe change the text to something that matches your website to see how it appears on that kind of size. So for this now, the first font dimension is Nonito, and that is the one used for this heading over here. While Sans Serif Pro is the one you have here. Okay, and as I said, I don't recommend using serif fonts for what they call it for body text. So I think that would not really work well here. So you can look at this as well. So these are different font pairings that you can make use of, and you can see them in action too, how they are used in live sites. So you can see this one. Francis is the one used for these headings, while Commissioner is the one used for the body text. So these are just font inspirations for you. I can see this one over here. It's actually the same font family, but for the heading you use the bold and regular, and you can see how the both combine well together. So this just give you inspiration of what fonts to use, and these are different fonts pairing which you can pick from. And if you scroll down, it goes on and on. And if you click on pairings, you see all the list of pairings. They have a limited list on their own page. And again, apart from pairings, they have options for you to like see popular fonts too as well. Although most of the fonts on this website are actually good fonts, or there are a few of them that are from other foundries. You understand? There are a few of them that are from other foundries too. So here now you can see popular Google fonts, and for me, I think I recommend coming to this website to like know what fonts you want to make use of instead of going to the Google font.google.com and start looking for fonts. They actually handpicked the best good and popular Google fonts that you can make use of. So you can just come to this website first and you can just hover on this. If it's a sans serif um, typeface you are looking for, what's happening? If it's a sans serif typeface you're looking for, you can just select from here and see list of sans serif typefaces, and you can just, okay, let's say you want to go for this one, and you can just, okay, I want to go for this. Then you can search it on Google Fonts to see if it's available there. Okay, and you can see how they are displayed. You can see their preview from the text here. So you can see these are sans serif fonts, families fonts, as you can see. And you can also check for maybe you want to see serif fonts. You can see them over here. So these are unpicked ones, and they just save you the time of going to fonts.google.com to start searching. You understand? And different ones are here, so you can see handwriting are here as well. So these are just the handpicked ones, as you can see. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so there's something again I want to show you. So I said earlier on, you should see the fonts they listed here. Where is it again? You can actually click on it to see the full details, and this is an example of one I clicked through, and you can see this. And once you click through to a font, you'll be able to know where it is. So if it's a Google font, it will surely link it to the Google Fonts page. Like for this particular font now, it's actually a free font, but it's from another foundry, Article Foundry. So if you should click on this now, it take you to the page where you can get the font from. So this font family has only two fonts, regular and regular italic, and it will be best suited for body text. It's best suited for body text. Although for me, I think I wouldn't recommend this font family because it doesn't have a bold font, so it's CSS. So if you want to like have a bold text, it may not really appear well if you just add if you bold it. So that's just it. And if we should look at here now, you can see this is the page you can get this from. You can download it, and yeah, so you can download it. So they only made the regular and italic fonts to be free. If you want to get the complete list, that is the complete fonts, bold and every other one, you can pay for it. They say pay what you want. So it's more of a free, just pay what you want. And yes, so you can also see the font in action here, see the use case, see how it looks like. Okay, so the next one here is this is still from the fontspear.co, but if we should go to their fonts pairings in the wild, so this just gives you, this is the link to the page. This gives you some fonts ideas again that you can make use of and see them in real action. So like this one now, they're using Liberal, Baskerville, and Inter. So this is the heading and Inter for the body text. So these are just where you can get font inspirations for your project. Another one is called fontsinuse.com, and from here you can see real life examples of fonts in use. So although some of the fonts in use example showcased there are not only for web, some are for graphic elements, as you can see. So if you want to like see fonts in use on the web, you can click on these typefaces over here and just select web here. So this will give you the examples of fonts used on the web. So for this now, You can see websites and see the fonts used, like this one over there using these three fonts on this website, and you can click through it to see the full details of everything. So if you love a particular font, it's just a matter of just searching for the name on any of the website I showed you earlier on and use it on your project. Then we have, okay, not we have. So I opened this particular one, this one over here, in a new tab, and here is how the details page looks like. So they kind of tell you details about the website so used on, so you can see how it is used on this website. You can see how it's played out. So this just gives you an idea of how this font will look like if you use it on your own website project. And you can see details about this particular site. It's actually a news website, and you can see how the font played out. So here it is, and you can see the name of the fonts they used here, font family rather. They used here, newsreader, color, oswald, and the rest of it. Okay, so that is the end of this video on this where you can get fonts for use as well as